Hello, everyone. Welcome to another interesting episode of the Football Fan Zone. As usual, I'm joined by the usual suspects. Uzo is joining us again this week. Uzo, how you doing?
Yeah, I'm doing good. Can't complain. The title charge lives on.
It certainly does. All right. Adams is also on the show as usual. King Adams, how you doing?
Doing okay, doing okay. Great weekend of football, so yeah, ready to get into it.
Yeah, good, yeah. Great weekend of football. So a quick recap of the EPL results this weekend. Liverpool and Manchester United played out a goalless draw at Anfield. Tottenham Hotspur continued in their winning ways, 2-0 away at Nottingham Forest. Chelsea back to winning ways, 2-0 victory at Stamford Bridge against Sheffield United, back to 10th position. Arsenal were able to, continue that winning streak, 2-0 win at the Emirates against Brighton. And surprisingly, Manchester City dropping more points this season, this time a 2-2 draw at home at the Etihad. So we'll be talking a whole lot about those results. So where do we start? Okay, let's start off this week at the title charge. Okay, so like I mentioned earlier, Liverpool nil, Manchester United nil at Anfield. Let me start off as a Liverpool fan, as I'm very disappointed. I'm still trying to come to terms with how we did not win at home against a very average for Manchester United side. But fair play to Manchester United, they came with a game plan, to frustrate Liverpool, and they all did their jobs. I couldn't everybody was on point on their form. For Manchester United, their defense, Varane and Evans, pretty solid. I think Varane went away with the man of the match. So yeah, it was a good one from Manchester United. I even felt like the best chance of the game fell to them. A little bit of composure, and who knows, they would have walked away from Anfield with all 3 points. So good one for them. For Liverpool, horrible, disappointing. I don't even know. But I think, like I mentioned last week and some previous week before, I think this sort of result has been coming. We've been papering over the cracks. We've been getting over the line with our victories. Sheffield United, Crystal Palace last week. So yeah, many Liverpool fans saw it coming. But at the end of the day, if we don't end up winning the title, these are the sort of results we'll look back on and say, oh, as I mean, if what would have happened if we had won that game, But well, it's football, and just looking at the players, looking at the performances, our front three were not up to it at all today. Salah nowhere near it. Darwin Nunez, enough said about him. Like if you want, you know how I feel about him. I don't know. I don't think he's him. In terms of when it comes to top number 9. Luis Diaz has also been off recently. Has not been the Luis Diaz pre-injury from last season. So yeah, our front three poor. Midfield, it was a horrific performance from Dominic Szoboszlai. His passes were not just going through. I was just
I
like,
thought you guys were throwing shots last week. Talking about your club was talking about, oh, thank God we didn't make some mistakes. Or what did he say? Talking about
Yeah, I knew that comment was going to come back and bite him. The club, he always has a way of saying some of these things that will always come back to bite him. So yeah, the midfield was also not on point today. Endo did well. Szoboszlai, no, like a 3/10. I wasn't surprised that he was taken off. I think early on in the second half. So yeah, as a Liverpool fan, disappointed. The thing about this title chart is every week it just seems to, it's like a roller coaster. You drop points, somebody else is now number one. Well, we see where this takes us. Next week, of course, the top two are meeting at Anfield, Liverpool versus Arsenal. I'm not confident. I'm not confident. I'm not looking forward to that game. Even though it's Anfield, and I think we have a good recent record against Arsenal, but I think this Arsenal this season now, they look like the real deal, so it'll be a tough one. All right, I don't know if any of you guys want to quickly chip in on Liverpool on what you think. Let me start with Adams before we come to Uzo. Adams, what do you think about Liverpool versus Manchester United?
Bro, I told you, man. I told you, Liverpool. You guys were just flattering to deceive, bro. I knew it. I knew it. I knew that it was coming. It was always coming, right? And then it was just set up. This Manchester United game was just set up because there was so much talk about how Manchester United coming to Anfield. This is the end for Ten Hag. This is Manchester United coming in their last leg. There's no way they are going to do anything against Liverpool. I felt like Liverpool fans didn't really add to that noise. I felt it was mostly other fans, talking about. And then I don't think Liverpool fans kind of knew because they watch their team. They see that, oh, bro, we might be getting away with the wins. We might somehow find ways to score late goals, which is good. But the performances have not been convincing. And we saw today how you guys struggled to get goals and to break down, so to say, to break down Manchester United. And yeah, but I feel like to me, I wasn't surprised. I know you guys expect to win at Anfield, but Anfield was awfully quiet today. It was awfully quiet today. It was so quiet. I I think I was at some point I was starting to hear more of the Manchester United fans, having fun, enjoying themselves. And I like to say Arsenal coming to I think Arsenal will leave Anfield top of the table next week. They're leaving that game top of the table next week. I don't see the Liverpool that turned out today versus the Arsenal team, the way Arsenal's been playing. I don't see it going any other way than probably an Arsenal victory or Arsenal draw. Right. So yeah, it just goes to show again that I didn't really put them up there as proper title challengers. I feel like you guys would probably, finish third, but it was something I expected to happen like at some point.
Yeah. I think you mentioned you always said that over the recent weeks. Yeah. All right, Uzo, you want to say something about Liverpool and Manchester United?
Yeah, and I'll get
Wrong
to. I don't know
time.
if you guys can hear the announcement.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Um, let me just go ahead and let it finish. Is it overpowering my voice or?
No. I think you can
Yeah, I
you
think
can
you
go
could
on.
go
Okay.
ahead.
All right. And I'll get to the Liverpool part of this, but I wanted to take just 3 to 5 minutes to make a plea to Manchester United fans, right? Um, having watched this game and
That's
having watched, well, a combination of this game as well as their performance against Bayern Munich, as well as um, kind of what I felt was not a bad performance against Bournemouth, it was a horrific result, but I thought that I thought they played a lot
That
better
was a
than the
terrible
results
performance,
suggested in that
please.
game. Against Bournemouth, they sustained possession. They were incisive. They just
I'll
lacked
just
the
let you
cutting edge
finish. I'll let you
goalkeeper.
finish.
And they
Just go
were
ahead.
no, they were terrible in defense. I get that. It was a horrific result. There's no excuse for it. But I didn't think the performance was deserving of the result. Like it wasn't a 4-0 performance. I thought Bournemouth were just very clinical and they took every single chance that they got and they put the game away. But in light of all of that, um, and considering what I said last week about a certain Eric Ten Hag, I would like to make a plea to side Jim Ratcliffe. You've just purchased this club, apparently, even though we don't really know when that's going to go into effect. Um, I'm going to make a plea to Sir Jim Ratcliffe and all of the fan base of Manchester United. Do not sack Eric Ten Hag, please. Um, here's the case that I'm making, and it's going to sound funny initially, but there's a method to my madness. Um, when Ralph Ragnick came into this club, right? One of the biggest things that United fans were lauding him for was that he was exposing things that were widely assumed by the fan base, but he was confirming that a lot of their concerns were true. That there was a problem in the hierarchy, that there was a lack of structure in the club, that a lot of the players were overpaid, not under talented, but not as talented and up to it for the United standard, and that it would take a complete overhaul to get the team playing again. Right? That was one of the biggest things he was praised for. He was a terrible coach. He couldn't get anything out of the players, and it was the absolute worst in terms of like Manchester United that we've seen in the last decade. So The only redeeming quality he had was his assessment of the squad, his assessment of the backroom staff was spot on and it was accurate, right? And when Eric Ten Hag came in, apparently this is what was rumored to happen. He gave Ragnick a call. Ragnick offered to serve in an advisory role and be able to help him with the overhaul of the squad, and he declined. This is what was rumored to have happened, right? So now when Ten Hag came in, everyone was expecting Ten Hag would play total football, the Ajax way, completely transform Manchester United and make them a more pleasing on the eye, sustainable outfit. That has not happened. My plea to Sir Ratcliffe and the United fan base is know who you are. This is who Manchester United is. This is your DNA. If you look back at all of the bad results that United have had, this is when you were trying to be something that you were not. What Ten Hag has confirmed, because if we're all being honest, Ten Hag is just another Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. When the results that he's gotten have been completely pragmatic football, men behind the ball, trying to hit guys on the counter. Even down to the trophy that he won, finishing top four last season, there was no good football in sight. They were not some swashbuckling, sustainable, recycling possession side. They're just a team who stay disciplined out of possession and pick their spots and take their chances. And then they ride the wave of individual brilliance. This is your DNA. There was something that Mourinho said in his rant after he was put out of the Champions League. What was it, 4 years ago? Football heritage. This is Manchester United heritage, bro. When you go into these big sides and you go and you're clamoring for the team to go toe to toe and to get in team's face and try to attack them and try to stamp their imprint on, this is not who you are anymore. You have to let that go. Sir Ratcliffe, when you come into this club and you do your assessment and you're looking for who to get rid of, these links to Graham Potter, these links that I'm seeing to go get that underachieving psychologist who has already shown that he's not cut out for the top teams, don't do it. Stick with Sir Eric Ten Hag. He is Manchester United DNA through and through. This man came into the club. He completely abandoned his philosophy. He bought into the United way, and he has bought players like Amrabat and Johnny Evans who have Manchester United DNA through and through.
I don't even know. Are you trolling or what?
No. The thing is, there's something beautiful and calming in accepting who you are, right?
Wow.
Manchester United fans were pleased with their performance last season. They were waving in everybody's face that a Carabao Cup and a top three finish is better than second place challenging for the title. It's better than going to the Europa League, having smacked your rival 7-0. It's better than anything you could imagine. Apparently, they had the best season, even though their down the street neighbors just won the treble. So this is who you are. This is what you asked for. This total football, playing out the back, trying to be attractive, trying to be sustainable, that's not who you are. Allow Ten Hag to keep cooking. Keep bringing these signings like Amrabat and Sergio Reguilon. These are the kind of players, this is the kind of manager that you deserve. Because last week, when I was critical of Ten Hag, there was a lot of people that scoffed at my comments. So now I'm rectifying that and I'm saying, back your manager. Bring more of these kinds of players. Go to Anfield, pack 11 men behind the ball, get a 0-0 result. And Adams, you retweeted this on your timeline. I found it really funny. Celebrate like you just won the Champions League because this is who you are. Despite the fact that you're 11 points behind all of your significant rivals, you're not in the title picture. You've crashed out of the Champions League, finishing bottom of your group, having conceded 15 goals, the most by any English side in the history of the Premier League. This is who you are. Embrace it. Continue to push on. Don't try to do anything different. Don't try to instill some kind of new philosophy in the team. Embrace your new reality and continue to march forward. I support Eric Ten Hag. Ten Hag in. Now to Liverpool and in our analysis of the game. So I thought that the game was very interesting. I spent I want to say 80% of that game doing, And I kept hearing the words of Adams telling me, this Liverpool team, I don't know. Uzo, I think you're overrating this team. Uzo, I think I think you think that this is the team of old that are able to sustain a title challenge. I don't think these guys got it. I kept hearing that voice in my head, and I was saying, I would see Luis Diaz taking unnecessary touches, cutting in, shooting the ball against players' feet with no intention to score. I would see Darwin Nunez can't control the ball a lick, looking to get into scuffles, falling over his own feet, no ability, no eye for goal, no ability to sniff out danger, to find spaces, nothing. I would see Salah, apparently better than Hazard, in my own admission, needing to rise, needing to lift his team, needing to be an inspiration, needing to create chances. I was saying, I was looking at a man that we've all lauded as the new David Beckham, the greatest delivery of all time in Trent Alexander-Arnold, slamming the ball against the first defender, not being able to get the ball into danger areas. And all I could say was, I think Liverpool got exposed to it. And I didn't think it was a bad result in the grand scheme of things, because I think it's going to get them a wind in their sails up and active for that Arsenal game, because I think it'll remind them that you're not infallible. There's no room for error. If you're going for this title, you have to put in good performances every single weekend. But I think they got exposed today because I think the characters and the profiles that they need don't actually exist in the club. Now, the good thing is this is the best time for this to happen because the January window is here. You arguably underachieved in the transfer window last summer because I think you didn't do even half of the business that you needed to do in addressing the defensive stability within the team. John Henry has a chance to right those wrongs. Go into the market and identify the characters that you need to have a true spine, a spine that is connected from back to front, that can actually sustain a title challenge. You found yourself at the top of the table. Don't flop this. But as far as this current iteration of the Liverpool squad, especially when Salah is going up to the AFCON, this team is not built to sustain the league title challenge. I was wrong. They got absolutely exposed today. Manchester United didn't come to play football. They came to park the bus. Um, they were hopeful on the counter to get one or two chances, and they actually ended up having two of the best chances within the game. I thought Garnacho could have done better with his chance, and I thought Højlund should be doing better with his chance. That has to be going in the net. If you're going on 13 games with no goals in this league, you have to be scoring that. So I think United will be actually kicking themselves and feeling like they could have broke duck and they could have won that game. Liverpool did not deserve anything from that game. They were absolutely lacking creativity. They were lacking control. They were lacking focus. And that's not something that you see from a club side. They looked like they were absolutely looking past this game, looking at the Arsenal game. They expected United to sit down, roll over, and completely give up. They didn't come to earn the right to play, earn the right to win. So I think this result exposed Liverpool for the frauds that they are right now. But it's good because you have the window to go out there and correct it. And at the end of the day, you're sitting at the top of the table. In the upper reaches of the table, and you have a chance to actually have a title challenge. But this ain't it. This ain't it. And that's all I have to say about that game.
All right. Thank you so much.
That was a lot to say.
You want to say something? You want to say something before I?
No, I was just saying, yeah, that that was a lot to say. The ten Hag one killed me, bro.
That's who Manchester United. So it's pretty much like Manchester United, like a mid-table team. Okay.
I mean, who am I to say otherwise?
From their lips to God's ears, this is what they want, bro. They celebrated the Carabao Cup. Hey, listen, I haven't won anything in the last 13 years. I have no right to talk. You know what I mean? So it is what it is. This is what they want. You got to give the people what they want, man.
All right. Thanks, Uzo. Okay. So I was a Liverpool fan. I can only wish Liverpool all the best. I don't think we're signing anybody in January, so we're going to work with what we have, and we'll see where it takes us. All right.
Wait,
Okay. So
you don't think you're making any signings in January?
I doubt it. I'll be pleasantly surprised if we sign anybody.
The league is done. That means I have to move somewhere new because Arsenal have won this league, bro.
What,
You guys are not trying to sign.
are you writing Manchester City off? We're going to come to them.
Well, no, I'm not.
Okay.
They're only what 5 points behind now.
Okay. So all right. So since we've mentioned Manchester City, let's talk about Manchester City now. So they dropped points again this week. 2-2 draw at home to Crystal Palace. Adams, let me come to you first of all. I'm sure the result was surprising to you. There was no Haaland for them, and they kind of looked toothless. What's your assessment of Manchester City so far this past few weeks? They've kind of stumbled and wobbled, and yesterday they wobbled again and dropped 2 more points.
Yeah, I think they're also getting exposed. They're getting exposed. A lot of their players that we've placed in like really high esteem and high pedestals, like right now, are starting to look really average. All right, I don't know if it's a hangover from winning the treble. Of course, we expected that to play a part. After achieving almost the impossible, right? But the game against Crystal Palace was a really funny one because they had all but won that game, right? And it was just like I think it was probably a 90 something minute
Yeah,
penalty, right? Where
yeah.
Foden, yeah, yeah. So it was a very strange one. And I look at a player like Cole Palmer thinking, could he have been useful to them right now?
I
Especially
think that's
when they are without some of their really their key players. De Bruyne missing. What's his name? Haaland also had the injury. And I looked at the game against Arsenal in the Community Shield and the game against Sevilla, the Super Cup, where he came in and scored two really good goals. I think they're kind of missing that type of player that can, come up in difficult situations, especially from the bench. From the bench, because Manchester City have been a team that had strength in depth. And when things were going wrong, they could call on guys like Foden, they could call on guys like Mahrez to come and, try to deliver them the goods. But right now, their bench is looking very empty. When most of those players start, they don't have anybody to call on from the bench, but it's just difficult to write them off. Like Uzo has consistently said on this show, like until you see that they're dead and buried, you can never completely write them off. So it's one that we'll have to pay attention to. But right now, it's not looking good. I think winless in 6 games. That is a crazy run. Even for is it 6 games, 6 or 5
no.
games?
I think the one
They
last week
have
they
one
beat Luton.
one win in
Win in
six.
six
One
games.
win in
One
Yeah,
win in
six.
six.
six. Yeah,
Bro, even
it's,
even as a Chelsea fan that we're going through right now, that would be something to take a look at. And of course, none of that rubbish that we're hearing from Man City fans. I think they're just being too dramatic, booing Pep after the end of the game. All of that is just for the cameras or whatever you want to call that. But yeah, it's one to watch. But I think I still back them to get better soon.
mm. Oh, okay. All right then. All right, Adams. Uzo, your thoughts on Manchester City?
Yeah, the Cole Palmer takeaway is funny. I wonder where that comes from. They obviously don't miss Cole Palmer. He barely played for them. But I think
Bro,
what they
but
do
now
miss is
But
go ahead.
it's
Go
not
ahead.
like
sorry,
they're
honest.
having any. It's not like they're having any issues scoring goals. They have a midfield issue, and their midfield issue has to do with replacing Gundogan in his ability to control games with a Rodri. And if you notice some of the games that they've dropped points in, Rodri has either been suspended or unavailable for whatever reason. Well, they've all been suspension. He missed 3 games with the red card suspension, and then he missed a game with the yellow card accumulation. And also, John Stones has been missing, and he's been someone who's been able to come into midfield and help with their little box that they create in midfield to really control games and take the sting out of a position attack. So I think what you're seeing is just a lack of personnel. Club, I said club. Pep obviously doesn't trust a guy like Matheus Nunes or a guy like Kovacic to come in and make an impact in the game, as well as Calvin Phillips. So arguably his last 3 midfield signings have all been failures. In the sense that he obviously has no trust or dependency in them, and you've seen with the lineups that he's put out when Rodri has been unavailable that he doesn't trust any of these guys to step up and kind of be that next person. So they obviously are going to have Kevin De Bruyne coming back at some point during the season. John Stones is playing himself back into fitness. They're going to have Rodri back. And still, one thing I'll keep saying with Manchester City, besides the Aston Villa game, the Aston Villa loss, there hasn't been a game this season where I felt like they deserved to drop points. Yeah, they've been sloppy at times, but I don't think that they've been poor for like as poor as people think they've been, as poor as the results suggest that they've been. They've still been in control of most of these games. They still created enough chances and scored enough goals to win these games. Like you look at the game against Spurs, they scored 3 goals, and we scored 3 goals from an XG of 0.57. You go back and look at the game against the game against Villa, they were completely outclassed. Fair enough. You saw how difficult the game against Luton was, as many chances as they created. And then you go again and you look at the game against Crystal Palace, which I feel like justice was done because I think Palace were robbed and Ederson should have seen red. That was a pure red card tackle any day of the week. And so it was poetic justice that they were able to get that penalty in the end and get a result. But you have to remember, Palace is City's bogey team. Palace and Spurs are the teams that have repeatedly troubled this Manchester City side. No one knows why. They just seem to turn up against Manchester City, being us and them. Every single season, I think in the last 5 seasons, these two teams have taken points from Manchester City consistently. So I don't think it's anything to really like be worried about from a Manchester City point of view. Obviously, their fans are spoiled. You would think that they're used to this. They always start slow. They always have these flips, and we know that they round into form during the run-in. So I'm not worried about Manchester City. 5 points down, with De Bruyne still to come back into the team, with all of January to correct whatever mistakes they've made in the market. I'm pretty sure that they're going to be at least in the race. And if they're in the race, you know that they're favorites. So, yeah, I'm not so much worried about Manchester City.
All right, that's fine. Okay, let's quickly touch on Arsenal. Um, Arsenal, another victory this weekend at home to Brighton, 2-0. I watched the whole game and I couldn't believe I was hoping on Brighton to do something against Arsenal. They were totally Brighton was totally outplayed. Like it was a fantastic performance from the Arsenal. As in I was so impressed. As in Brighton that usually calm, passing out from the back. They were hurried. They looked threatened. They looked frightened. You saw Saka versus James Milner mismatch, and Martinelli, doing his thing down the wing. So it was a fantastic performance from Arsenal. Well, you could also say Brighton. They were a bit exhausted from their European exertions, but nah, even I think the Brighton coach after the game in his post match was like, "Wow, for him, he sees Arsenal as the best team in the league so far." Like he said in his words, he said nobody has made us suffer the way Arsenal made us suffer today, and fair play. And I think Brighton are one of the highest scoring teams in the league so far, and I think Arsenal was the first team to stop them from also scoring. So everything is just looking good for Arsenal right now. Their fans are buzzing, and just a quick, as in, it's looking good for them. And the Liverpool vs Arsenal game next week, I can't even believe it. My brother is an Arsenal fan. I can't believe I'm going to be watching the game beside him. I don't want to lose that game in his presence. It's going to be very, very, very difficult for me. But yeah, I think Arsenal looking good, looking good. Like everything's they sealed top spot in the Champions League qualification this week as well. So yeah, so everything is just looking positive for Arsenal fans. The only route they can see now is up, 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 up. They're not looking behind them. They're just looking. How can we solidify our position at the top and then correct the wrongs from last season. So we'll see how it goes. It's still a long way to go. We'll see how luck shines on them in terms of injuries, in terms of their draw for the round of 16 in the Champions League. Would they be giving PSG? Because I think their PSG is the opposite side of the seedings. So we'll see how that goes. But between now and the end of the season, there's still a lot of water to pass under the bridge for Arsenal. So we'll see how it goes. Let me start with you, Uzo. For Arsenal, what's your assessment on them? Are they winning it?
Yeah, I tongue in cheek, I said, this is Arsenal's title. It is Arsenal's title to lose. However, like I'm still back in City. I actually have a friendly bet with one of the Spurs fans in my group chat. Manchester City winning the league still. Oh, that's kind of loud.
Yeah.
Um, but um,
Zoe down, Jeff, one personal bag and one roller bag.
Yeah, we can
The
come
roller
back to
bag
him.
is going to go with the overhead bin. The personal item needs to
You said what?
We can
Please,
come back to him.
just go on, go on. We can hear you.
might be something like your
Okay.
backpack.
So with Arsenal, I feel that they right now are in the best position as far as they've probably had the most convincing performances. I look at both of their losses and I say, okay, the Newcastle game was mired in controversy. The Aston Villa loss, you can say, was also kind of mired in controversy. So they haven't really had any clear cut losses where I felt like they were deserving to lose or drop points. Besides maybe the Chelsea game, so they're informed. They're playing pretty well. What I think is maybe getting a tad overrated is I don't think Brighton are as good this year. They haven't been as good. They lost a lot of players. I think they had a few more like out with injury, and you can see like the Zerbi is trying to play the same style with players that just aren't up for it. They were not able to play out of the back. They had no ideas in possession. Billy Gilmore, he's not a Caicedo. You know, I mean, with all due respect, he's not a Caicedo. He doesn't have the same presence, the same physicality that someone like Caicedo would have in the build-up. They're missing a McAllister, someone that can connect, attack, and defense. We all know Gross is pretty much like a McTominay kind of midfielder. Arrives late in the box. He's good at crashing in and getting chances, but he's not really known for having like strong resolve within the midfield. So I was watching the Brighton game, and I just don't think they have the personality. I think they're well coached. I think they still have moments where they can be better than most teams, but I just think the Brighton game itself is being kind of played up a bit more than it should. And I'm looking at the Arsenal Liverpool game for next week, and I think that it's going to be. I can only see a draw because I think both sides struggle to create. I was watching Arsenal today against Brighton. I didn't think they were like really flying like that. You know what I mean? Like the goal comes off the set piece, which the keeper should be claiming that he misses it. Then there's a flick on from one of their defenders. Gabriel Jesus is free at the back post. Pretty much an easy goal. Brighton actually had a chance to come back in the game where Pascal Gross missed a slide roll chance where
Yeah.
you're expecting him to bury that just based on his history. And then, of course, Kai Havertz put in the game away, which was a very well-taken finish and an excellent counter-attack. But if you look at the game on the whole, like it's not like Arsenal were battering teams the way they were doing last season and just constantly creating chance after chance and should have been clear or something. But I do think what they have gained this season is the ability to control games, to sustain dominance, and that's something that I think puts them in a great spot to continue to gain points. I think, like you said, it is a roller coaster of a title charge, and we keep swinging our emotions like pendulums every week. But I think my overwhelming thought is that it's going to go down to the wire regardless. Like no one is running away with this thing.
Yeah.
No team has really played well enough, in my opinion, to say you're going to be 15 points clear in April. Like it's not possible. So we'll see. But right now, I think Arsenal are in the best moment so far. They bounced back, well after their loss to Villa, and I think, yeah, they have a chance to do something important at Anfield next weekend. I think that's what's going to really announce them as contenders, or if they're still the same as last year. One thing I have to say though is much credit to a Declan Rice. I think right now the juice of winning a treble has to remain for at least the next year because a treble is not something to scoff at. So Rodri for me is still the best defensive midfielder in the world. But from next season, depending on the way this season ends, I'm sorry, Declan Rice has something to say about that conversation.
Absolutely.
And right now, I'm not going to disrespect Rodri because, again, there's not that many treble winning DMs out there. There's not that many. He stands alone in a room of very, very few men. So I'm going to give him his respect. But from next season, depending on the way this season goes, definitely Declan Rice has bought his administrative ticket. He wants in. So much credit to him. I think he's been the signing of the season so far, considering that Madison has gotten injured and we're not really seeing. No, I think Madison was in there. You don't think so? You're laughing.
Bro,
Is
why
that-
did
is
you
that-
have to bring Madison up? Like, I
No, because
don't.
I think Because I think he was the front runner for signing up the season before he got injured.
Oh,
And
okay,
this is
yeah,
something that I was getting from neutrals as well. Like they
yeah,
thought
yeah.
he was.
Yeah, Madison
I don't
was
think
he
that
was
that's wild
fine.
to say. But
No,
he's gotten injured. He's out of it right now. I think Declan Rice is far and away ahead of the pack when it comes to signing up the season.
yeah.
At least for me.
I'll
Okay,
put
okay.
Don't
Kopama
worry,
up there.
Cole Palmer is there. I know he was
I'll
going to
put
say that.
Kopama up
That's why I
there.
was looking.
Are you sure, Adams? Are you sure about Kumpam? I've been seeing some stuff like, oh, he only scores tap-ins and penalties. No, I'm not the one
You've
saying
been
it. Come
seeing or
on.
you've been saying. You've been saying.
I've not been saying. I've been seeing. I'm just bringing to your attention what I've been seeing. Comments from the fans, neutrals. But okay, all right. But that aside, I think we can quickly move. Okay, just a quick note on Aston Villa as well. Level on points with Liverpool, currently in third position. I think Unai Emery has just a new record for them. I think 14 straight home wins or so, something like that. A new club record for Aston Villa. They are not
I
going
think they're
away.
at 15, right? With the Arsenal game, they got to 15, right?
Was it 15?
They
So now
were
it's
they were
16.
at 14 going into Arsenal. Well, no, they didn't play at home
Play
against
a home.
Brentford. They were
Okay,
away at
yeah,
Brentford.
yeah. They were and
They were away at
very
Brentford.
and interesting enough, next week they play Friday night, so they play before everybody else. So they play Sheffield United at home. So a victory there, and they're going in number one on the
A
table for
victory is
Liverpool
pretty much guaranteed. That Sheffield
against.
team is. I think this is a good segue into Chelsea. That
Hmm,
Sheffield team, boy,
bro, don't be too,
Alhamdulillah, what a
bro,
horrific
bro,
team.
don't be too sure, man. This is the
Oof.
Premier League. This is the Premier League. We've seen things
Those
happen.
guys aren't
So don't
Premier
be too
League though.
sure.
They're
Don't be
they're
too sure.
they're not they're not the Premier League.
Come on, they're the
This is the
Premier League,
Premier League. I don't know why they're here.
but they are
I don't know
here.
why
Come
they're
on.
here.
Come on, don't disrespect Sheffield United. They are here. They are here. Come on, man.
Bro,
I think they're
they should be
disrespecting themselves.
disrespected. They're
Yeah,
not
they
a
Bro,
good team,
disrespecting
bro.
okay,
themselves.
They're not a
Now
good team.
that you said they should be sure, let's quickly now turn our attention to Chelsea versus Sheffield United that happened yesterday.
Yeah,
So take it away, Adams.
I said it in my match review. Sheffield are not a good team. They're a very poor team. I was telling Uzo, like, Sheffield and Burnley, they stand alone. You can't put Luton. You can't put Luton there. Luton, Luton, Luton will cause trouble. Like we've seen what they did to Manchester um, City, Manchester City, Liverpool, and even
And Arsenal,
Arsenal. Like they made it
yeah,
difficult. But you see, Burnley and Sheffield, they're not a good team. They have no ideas. Especially at least Sheffield know what they try to do, but Burnley,
yeah.
Burnley have
Burnley are
no.
gone.
They
Those ones
think
are gone. Yeah,
they
Burnley are
think they're
gone.
a
Yeah.
passing team. They think they should play out the back and do all this elaborate stuff, but they're a very useless team. But yeah, back to the back to the game against Sheffield. That was a game that we expected to win anyway. But the first half of that game was one of the worst footballs I've ever seen.
Wow.
Bro, it was crazy the way we played. We struggled to create chances against statistically the worst team in the league. Like they don't defend very well. I think they've conceded the most goals. They don't press the ball, they don't pass the ball well. There's nothing you can point at and say, oh, this Sheffield United team is good at doing. They don't score goals, they don't create enough chances. And in that first half, they probably had more chances to score than we did, more clear chances to score than we did. It was crazy. Like the build up play. I think our build up play was good, but the final third we were just devoid of ideas. Like when the ball got, and it was crazy for me to see that our whole attacking threat was going through Modric, especially in the first half. Like, and he, as much as I've criticized Modric, I like to say it here that I don't have any agenda against any player. Of course, like he's a player in my team. I want him to succeed. But I think some of his limitations have been brought by the coach as well. Because I think it's pretty obvious to see that Modric is not a take on type of winger. Like he's not, he doesn't success. I think his rate is probably about 40%. He's not an Eden Hazard type of winger. And constantly we try to put him in situations where he's 1v1, sometimes even 2v1 against defenders. we never play him with any proper fullback because he's mostly played with Cowell or I think mostly Cowell. He hasn't played that many games with Kukurea. He hasn't played with Matson. So it's always interesting to see when we try to set him up to fail because he doesn't excel trying to take on players, trying to create chances. He always, and naturally, he likes to drift into the middle. He likes to always go into the middle, try to shoot. I feel like the coach should see that he's not that type of player. And I think they should, try to accommodate his strengths, which is, move him closer to goal. And credit also goes to Pochettino because in the second half, what won us that game was playing two up top, essentially moving Raheem Sterling closer to Nicholas Jackson, which created more space in the half spaces, and then Palmer and Sterling were able to pick some really good spaces in behind Sheffield United. But it wasn't an inspiring win. We just won because it was a very poor team. I think that performance against any other team, bar Burnley in the Premier League, would have probably lost that game, or it may be a draw. So there's still signs for concerns, especially with our final third, how we struggle in creating chances, and that's where I see something like, oh, we need to sign a new striker. If we signed someone like an Osimhen or Ivan Toney with that first half performance, how would they get any chance? It will still be the same issue that we're having right now because in the first half, Nicholas Jackson was missing, and that was because he wasn't getting any services. It will still be the same issues that we're having. So the striker talk sometimes I understand it, but then again, when I look at the way we play, we don't play well enough to, consistently provide chances for attackers. So yeah, and again, that brings me to my next point of Nicholas Jackson. And this is to call out all the statisticians out there because when he favors them, right, they start pulling up the stat sheets and saying, oh, this person has more goals than this person. We
Yeah.
all know deep down in our hearts that the best judge for a player, the best metric to judge a player is eye test. We know it. We know it, right? But most times when it doesn't favor them, they keep quiet. Because now I'm not seeing any shouts about Nicholas Jackson, and he has scored more goals than most of their favorite strikers, right? He has more goals than most of the favorite strikers. I'm not calling any names, but you can fill the blanks yourself. But he has more goals than them. But we also know, we can
Yes.
tell,
Why not?
we can tell we can tell that the best judge is the eye test, right? And if you ask every Chelsea fan right now if they want another striker, they'll probably tell you yes, but he has scored, the most goals for us for our team. So yeah, it's a really funny one because we won the game, but I'm not excited. I just yes, I celebrated the win because we needed a win so badly. But the problems, the issues still persist. Like we still struggle to create enough chances to win games. And when the pressure comes against our defense, I don't think they can sustain that pressure. Um, Especially, with playing center backs as full backs. I understand the injuries, but I still don't see us against the Wolves, against the Newcastle, even Crystal Palace. I think with the same performance, with the way we performed, if we replicated that same performance, I think it would have been a loss.
Okay, okay, all right. Adam's good points raised. I think positive for you is that Van Kunku was on the bench yesterday as well, so something for Chelsea fans to look forward to. And I think Lavia is also close to returning, a bit close to featuring, like, if I'm
Yeah,
correct. Yeah, so
7 or 10 days away.
okay. So with the busy fixtures this festive period, so it'll be good to have those players coming back to Chelsea. So I think Chelsea can only get better. Uzo, you want to quickly touch on Chelsea before we move to Tottenham?
Yeah, honestly, if the host of this show and the visionary of this show wasn't a Chelsea fan, we wouldn't even be touching on that game. That was a dreadful game. We're talking about 12th versus 20th, and I mean it was an awful show, absolutely low quality match. I mean, but he'll confirm this. It was a low quality game. Like for the
I
neutral,
was.
absolutely god awful watch. Cole Palmer was the difference. These are the kinds of games that you need a character, you need a difference maker. I tweeted something at halftime. I said, this is a coaching issue, but it can be mitigated by the fact that they're so dominant in the first two phases of the game that if they get a difference maker up top, they can do something. And
But that was
speaking
because
about
it was
Chelsea,
Sheffield, though. That's why we're dominant. If it was a
no,
better
you've been
pressing team,
dominant.
if
You've
it's a
been
better,
dominant in the first two phases in most games this season, besides the United game, which is why that game is so odd because that's not. I would have expected that that's where you would have excelled, and instead you were more so absolutely clueless in the build-up. But I just think you have quality um, everywhere on the pitch besides in attack and making a difference. And that's where someone like an Nkunku can come in and make a difference. So I think a lot of Chelsea fans are doing this thing where they're saying Nkunku doesn't change anything. It's going to be more of the same. I said, listen, if Nkunku comes into this team and Poch can't get the best out of him, then yes, sack him because he is a difference maker. And that's the kind of quality, that's the kind of personality that you need when you're in a squad like this. I thought Badger Shield was perfect. What a signing, what a player. Easily one of my favorite center backs in the league right now. You can see the kind of calmness and just intimidation that he brings. And I like having that kind of profile in defense. I think it was a nice compliment to Thiago Silva, who was more able to get on the ball and create. But again, this is Sheffield, right? They sat off. But I
that's
think
my
he
point.
has that much quality that he can replicate this even in bigger moments. The problem with Chelsea, obviously, is can they create enough chances? Can they convert enough chances to make a difference going forward? But until then, I just don't think there's much to talk about with Chelsea. I'm excited to see what they do midweek. I believe you're playing with Newcastle.
That's yeah,
Yeah,
the
I said
quarterfinals of the
something to
Carabao.
Chelsea fans: do
Sorry,
not
sorry.
let Miley, do not let 17-year-old Lewis Miley
he
dominate your
scored this weekend though.
240
Yeah,
million pass midfield. Do not let a 17-year-old Lewis Miley dominate your 240 million pound midfield.
Bro,
That's all I'm. That's what I'm
bro,
gonna say.
they won. They beat us 4-1 at St. James's
Yeah,
Park
but
Jesus
he
yesterday, and
Park
he
some
hadn't
weeks
got
he
his
ago.
played.
Yeah,
debut. He didn't have his
He
debut
had
then,
an
did he?
assist. He had an assist, right? Was it an assist
Did
or a
he?
key pass? No, it was either an
Oi,
assist or a key pass. I can't remember.
oi.
He was. I think it was an assist for Isak's first goal. I'll look it up.
Actually, I think I remember that. Oh boy, scary hours, man. Scary hours. Because I think Chelsea can make a run in the cup. I
yeah,
think that is the kind of inspiration that a guy like Pochettino needs. Because the biggest thing against him is this guy doesn't win anything, right?
yeah.
So if he comes in, wins the Carabao Cup in February,
Bro,
that's something that can
Carabao
galvanize
Cup
that
is
kind of
still very
squad.
far away, bro.
Or,
I'm not even
I,
gonna
I
lie.
agree.
just
No,
or,
no, I agree. But I'm saying that's the kind of thing that can jumpstart his career here at
Right,
Chelsea
right.
and
Oh,
bring some type of belief. Because if he wins something there where he never won anything at Spurs for 5 years, that's significant.
bro, I'm coming
That's
in your
all right,
massive.
face. In your
Pause.
uh, 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 all
pause,
right, guys,
Pause.
pause,
Pause.
guys.
pause,
Slow
pause.
down.
All right. So,
Now I'm rooting against it. I hope it doesn't happen.
okay, all right. So, because of time, let's quickly, Uzo, let's stay with you and quickly touch on Tottenham. Tottenham 2-0 win away at Nottingham Forest. What was your take on the game? I didn't actually see the game, so what was the take on the game?
Yeah, it was another boring game. I thought that was a typical Antonio Conte performance from our team. We reverted into a lot of poor old habits, and I think that it was mainly on the coach. We had an early injury to Brennan Johnson on his return back to the City ground. He was kind of feeling the nerves throughout the game, so you could see like he wasn't really up for it. And he ended up having a clash of heads and going off on a concussion protocol substitution. And I think from that moment we lost all control of the game because initially we had Kulu playing through the middle, and when Brennan went down, Kulu had to go back to the wing, and then Oliver Skip of all people comes into the middle and is playing as our 10. So you can pretty much guess what happens from there. Absolute chaos. We lost all control of the game. Um, we had two key moments of brilliance going forward. We scored two clean goals. Forest were absolutely wasteful in front of goal. Anthony Elanga and I'll say Morgan Gibbs White was actually pretty good going forward, but Elanga was absolutely shocking. Now, listen, I'm better than Anthony Elanga.
No, you're not.
I know people always say like, "Oh, professional players, you don't know what it takes." Blah blah blah. You have to watch them up. Anthony Elanga might be the worst footballer that I've ever seen in my
That's
entire
not
life.
Wow,
true,
that's
bro.
that's
That's
This
not
not
true.
that's not
guy
Slow
true.
down,
is
That's not
bro.
true.
Slow.
no no no.
That's
No,
not true.
no, no,
He's had a pretty
no,
impressive
no,
season.
no,
If you watch
no,
this
no.
guy against us,
He's
maybe he
had
was
an
just having
impressive.
maybe he was having a bad day. I don't know how he made
Yeah,
it through in Carrington, but when I watched this guy play against us,
It's
I
crazy,
said,
bro.
"Boy." I said, man, this guy, I don't know how he scammed it. I don't know. This is what you call black mediocrity. He is horrible. But all in all, I think Forrest can look at that game and they actually applauded their coach at the end of the game.
Bro, they do that
The
every
yeah.
time. They
performance
lost
was
5-1 and they were applauding him.
oh
Yes,
well.
yeah. So
Well,
they,
this
so
time I
they,
thought it was deserved because I don't think they were poor. You know what I mean? They were just wasteful in front of goal. I think the fans are behind him and they feel that he needs more. And there's all these rumors of like his job hanging over his head, and I think they're showing that they're 1,000% behind. I don't think they're gonna go down. So I don't know. I don't think there's any reason to sack him. I think they'll be fine. They'll get enough points to make it through the rest of the season. But as from a Tottenham perspective, it was just one of those games where we took the result. I don't like that this early in the process because for me, what matters more is establishing that pattern of play and that consistency more than results. I'll take the 3 points, but I didn't come out of that game feeling excited or happy because we didn't play well at all. The referee was terrible. God, oh my word, one of the worst refereeing performances that I've seen in the league so far. Um, their captain Yates, he kept gesturing at the ref to give yellows the entire game and never received a yellow for it. We received the yellows. I think Bissouma was rightfully sent off. Bissouma needs to fix up. So
yeah,
now he's gone for 4 games, and the next time we see him might be at the end of February because I think Mali is going to come out of their group because they have an absolutely terrible group, right? So we're not going to see this guy for close to 2 months. This is a senior player in the team. This is someone that we look to for leadership. We're already down a Madison. We're down a Bentancur, and you know that we're shorthanded. And you come in, and this is the moment where you're supposed to be imposing your will on the team and carrying. And I've been saying to Spurs fans, I'm going to watch him very closely during this period, and it's going to tell me how successful he can be at this club. And I'm sorry, the signs are very, very, very worrying right now. He just doesn't have the qualities, the personality to be a leader because he shies away when the moments get tough and he does constant stupid mistakes, getting sent off, dive in, just making poor decisions that lead to goals in key moments. And so now we're going to be missing him for 7 to 8 games. Who knows how long? And I just think that that's absolutely reprehensible. Like he needs to be looking in the mirror and doing much, much better. Last season, we gave him a pass, poor coaching, etc. This season, there's no excuses. The team was built around you. Ange has talked about how much he loves your ability and how crucial you are to the system. If you're not stepping up and having good performances, then I'm sorry that it might be time to upgrade on Basuma. I just thought he was really, really poor. Besides that, it was just a routine win. We stay in the hunt. I'm very scared to go to Everton next week. Very, very scared.
yeah.
We're not going to
So
have
nice.
Destiny because he picked up another yellow, so he's suspended for that game. And right now, Everton are one of the most informed teams in the league.
Absolutely.
So I think that's going to be a very, very tricky game. But hey, man, we just go game after game. There's not much to say. We're very shorthanded right now. We keep having all these suspensions. The discipline has to improve. Um, the maturity has to improve, and I think the play style needs to be more consistent, especially when we have missing personalities like a Kulusevski or a Madison. We need other players to be able to step up and perform in their roles because I'm worried about how we're going to survive January. We're going to be
Oh,
missing Son for the Asian Cup. We're going to be missing Bissouma and Sar. We already know that Bentancur and Madison are out.
Hmm.
Van de Ven is out. So I just think that this period is going to really show who within our squad is ready to be here for the long haul and who is going to be sold because, yeah, we're down to our last.
all right. Okay. Okay. All right. So because of time, I think we're about to enter into the phase of the show, one of my favorite part of the show, my quiz
Woohoo.
section. Just before we get to that, I have I will need your predictions, guys. So first of all, midweek Carabao Cup quarterfinals. Everton play Fulham, Chelsea play Newcastle, Liverpool at Anfield host West Ham. So those three fixtures, I just want you guys to give me your score predictions, or if you don't want to give a score prediction, who do you think is going through? So Uzo, let me start with you. Chelsea, Newcastle.
Um, my head says Chelsea. I don't have any heart in this. I don't care. But my head says Chelsea because I think Newcastle are just absolutely bare bones right now. They have barely anyone
Yeah,
fit. But I also think they can't keep losing. They just can't keep losing in all these key games. They had a really good win this weekend,
yeah.
even though what was their name was down to 10 men, really early
Fulham.
doors.
Yeah, Fulham.
Yeah, Fulham went down to 10 men. I just thought that was a ridiculous red card for Jimenez. That was absolutely stupid. But I don't know. I'm going Chelsea just because I just think Chelsea have more, and I think we might see Nkunku feature in that game, and I think like he can be a difference maker. But yeah, Newcastle, man, boy,
All
it
right.
ain't looking good. And I think Everton will win as well. And I
Yeah, Everton
think
Fulham. Yeah,
yeah,
Liverpool,
I
West Ham.
think Everton are winning that. And yeah, I think Liverpool win. West Ham are looking up and down, up and down. One
Yeah.
game they show up, one game they don't. They have some absolute dogs, especially in cup competitions. You can never write them off. But I like Liverpool. I fancy Liverpool too, because I think Klopp is going to be taking this seriously, the same way I think Pochettino is going to be taking it very seriously. And that's why
All right.
I envision a Liverpool Chelsea final.
All right. Adams,
I
what's
like
your
that. I like
take?
that prediction. Bro, a Chelsea 2-0 win. 2-0 win versus
Yep.
Newcastle. Newcastle,
Absolutely.
yeah.
A
2-0.
clean sheet against Newcastle. That's not
Bro,
happening. That's for
yeah,
sure.
that bro, a clean sheet against Newcastle, yeah. You heard it here
All right.
first.
All right,
2-0 win.
Adams. We'll take it to point on that. Okay. As for Liverpool West Ham, as a Liverpool fan, I'm a bit worried. I'm just thinking, right? The injuries are beginning to pile up. So Gravenberg injured today. McAllister is not yet back. There's no Diego Jota. There's no Robertson. And then we play Arsenal a few days after that West Ham game. So I'm just thinking, how is club going to approach that game? It's going to be a dilemma because there's a possibility we come out at the end of next week and we've lost to West Ham and Arsenal. But we'll see how it goes, man. We'll see how it goes.
That'll
As
be
a
the
Liverpool fan,
funniest thing to happen.
I'm
If that
telling you.
happens, bro.
We will be here.
I know the rival fans are like, this week is going to test Liverpool's resolve. Okay, we'll see how
Notice
it goes. We'll see how it goes. All right. So for my quiz, I'm kind of changing the pattern a bit. I'm still going to stick with AFCON theme. So AFCON is getting ever closer. I'm kind of excited. I don't know about you guys, but
Uzo doesn't like to hear that, bro.
who doesn't like to hear AFCON?
especially with the way Bissouma has been playing. I don't want to hear anything about AFCON or African players right now.
Sorry, mate. Okay. So basically, I'm just gonna be asking you guys some questions, and then basically, African teams related, and then just fastest answer. There's no fastest finger, so if you just know the answer, you just say it as it comes. I think also something that will help you is I know you might feel that you're wrong, but just say it. You might be right. I think it's something that I've noticed over the past few weeks, where I think you would just be like you're second guessing yourself.
Bro,
Like,
Uzo is getting coached. He's getting tips now. The refs. We have to call PGMO. The refs
No,
are
if
starting.
anything, we've just noticed your scope. You're getting found out. That's what it is.
Okay, all right. All right. So the first question I have here is okay. So in the EPL, I have here Ghana's highest goal scorers in the EPL, right? I have three names. So I'm going to ask you guys individually to like rank them top three. So I have three, like Ghana's top three highest goal scorers in EPL. So I have the Ayew brothers, that's Jordan Ayew and Andre Ayew. Then I have the legend, the player of yesteryear, Anthony Yeboah. I think he played for Leeds at one point. So I just want you guys to rank them in terms of from the top like to the bottom. So like the top three in terms of goals scored for Ghana and EPL. So let me start with you.
Wait, this is Ghana's all-time highest goal scorers in EPL.
Yes, in the EPL, yes.
Are those the actual three?
Yes, those are the actual three, man. What are you
And these
expecting?
guys tried to talk to us.
I'm dying, bro. I'm dying.
Who are you expecting?
I'm dying. Bro, I was like, what?
On uncomfortable conversations need to be had about that. That's a separate show.
All right.
What?
Are you
Oh
brothers?
man.
Are you
Look,
brothers?
the IU brothers and Anthony Yeboah. Okay.
That's insane. That's insane.
All right. All right. Come on. Get yourself together.
Ooh.
Okay, Adams, let me start with you. You rank them,
Bro,
please.
this is a tough one, but I'll say Anthony Yeboah first. And I'll say we actually had an argument about what's the name of this other what's his name? The Crystal
Jordan
Palace boy.
Ayew, yeah,
Jordan
Jordan,
Ayew.
Jordan.
On the space yesterday, he was telling me how terrible he was. I was like, no, he's a good hard worker. He's is decent. He works hard for the
Yeah.
team. I like his tenacity. I know he doesn't score. He doesn't score, bro. But I'll just put him. I know this guy was at Swansea, but I don't think he did anything at Swansea. So I'll put
Andre Ayew.
Jordan second, and I'll put what's the other one's name?
Andre.
Ayew.
Andre. I'll put Andre
Ayew.
last.
All right. Uzo?
Mine is the same, but I'm flipping it. I think Jordan Ayew is the highest scoring Ghanaian player in EPL history.
That would be very funny.
Yeah. And Uzo is.
But yeah,
Uzo is
I'm going Jordan Ayew, and then I'm going Anthony Yeboah, and then I'm going Andre Ayew. I know Andre Ayew has to be last place. He didn't do anything in this league.
perfect from Uzo. Uzo was perfect. 3/3 for Uzo there. Jordan Ayew is the highest goal scorer with, I think it's 25 goals or
Right.
so.
This guy.
Wait, how many goals?
25 or 24.
What? You know what's crazy? Where does Mohamed Kudus stand in this? Because I think he might actually catch Andre Ayew.
He might. Give him like a couple
Is
seasons.
there anyone with XG extra
Probably
time?
would.
Holy shit.
All right, so it's 1-0 to Uzo. Okay, all right, let's move to the other question. So this is Nigeria now. Okay, so Nigeria, I have here 3 names, but this is not highest goal scorer. This is caps, highest country appearances for these 3 individuals. So I have here.
Country?
Country. In terms of overall number of appearances for Nigeria.
International caps. Okay.
International caps, yeah. So I have here Ahmed Musa, Joseph Yobo,
English preferred?
Vincent Eyama, and John Obi Mikel. Right. So those are
That's
4
a
players.
tough one, bro.
I wanted to rank them. So Uzo, I'll start with you this time.
That's a tough one.
For number 1, I'm going to go Vincent Eyama.
Okay.
And then second to him, I'm going to go Ahmed Musa, and then Joseph Yobo. No. Ahmed Musa, yeah, Joseph Yobo, and then Mikel.
All right. Adams?
I think I'm actually going to go Ahmed Musa first. And I would have... I'm torn between Yobo and Vincent. I think I'll have... I think I'll have Vincent next. I'll have Yobo third, and then I'll have Mikel fourth.
Perfect from Adams. 4/4 for Adams there. So it's Ahmed Musa with 108 caps, Vincent Eyama second with 101. Okay, Vincent Eyama and Yobo are actually tied. So just because of the alphabetical order, Eyama comes before Yobo is 101, and then Mikel with 91. So 4/4 for Adams.
So I had Eyama and Musa flipped, right? That's what I have.
Yeah. That's it. Yeah.
Okay.
But so it's 1 apiece now. Okay. Okay, still sticking with Nigeria here. At the AFCON, can you tell me the player with the
Hold
most
on. Is this like fastest fingers? Fastest?
Yeah, this is the fastest finger question.
Okay.
The Nigerian player with the highest number of AFCON appearances.
AFCON appearances.
The African player or the Nigerian player?
The Nigerian player with the highest number of AFCON.
Nigerian player. I'm going to say Nwankwo Kanu.
Nwankwo Kanu is correct. Uzo goes into the read. 2-1 to Uzo. Right. Okay, so I have one more question here. This might go. Okay, this might be a bit easy. Fastest finger. This is the highest goal scorer at the last AFCON. Name of the player in the country. No,
Senegal.
Mane, Salah,
No,
Egypt.
Mane and Senegal.
no.
It's not Mane?
It's not
Vincent
Mane.
Abubakar, Cameroon.
Vincent Abubakar of Cameroon. Uzo wins.
Let's
Uzo wins
go!
it.
Let's
Uzo
go!
wins our quiz section for this week. That was pretty impressive. I think Uzo came in today was like, no ways. I'm
Yeah,
gonna
he was
beat
like,
me.
I'm not losing 3 in a row.
No.
You know what it
Nice
was?
one.
It's because I was on. It's because I was on the same time zone as this guy. I had to switch time zones to break whatever
Nice.
curse was going on.
Bro, you
Nice
were coach.
choice.
You were coach. We literally we need
just
VAR
saying.
for
Come on.
that.
I didn't coach you. Come on. But
I'm surprised
nice one.
I'm surprised you didn't get the
Bro,
Kanu one.
I wasn't even.
Yeah.
Oh, I swear, I wasn't even thinking it was Kanu. I thought it was going to be someone like, what's his name, Vincent Eyama. I thought it was Eyama. I was about to say Eyama.
Mm-mm.
And
No,
the Abubakar one too. I wouldn't have guessed it too. So
wow.
I
So
wouldn't have
nice one
guessed
for the
it.
Fair play.
Abubakar one. I was yeah, fair play.
No,
on
I
that.
mean, but he's always up there with goals.
Yeah.
Always.
He scores a lot of goals.
Okay,
He was actually going to be my first guess. I just thought Mane did better. Bro.
Yeah, I thought it was Mane
Just
too.
Senegal
I'm
won.
like,
Yeah.
yeah, I
Yeah,
like
Senegal.
Mane. Well, that's
Nah,
a good win. That's a good win.
Yeah, it was a good one. Yeah. So
Yeah, I
yeah.
dominated that performance. There was never any doubt.
Yeah. I was poor. I was poor for this one.
Yeah.
I only got the Nigerian caps one.
Absolutely. Yeah. So
Yeah.
so guys, so the AFCON is drawing nearer. I think Mali. I think a team to watch out for is Mali. I've been really impressed with them of recent.
I hope they go all the way. I don't want that guy coming back to my club anytime soon. I hope they go all the way.
Yeah, their qualifiers was fantastic. They are doing very well at age grade tournaments as well. Another 17. They qualify for the Olympic Games. Nigeria is not going to be there. Mali is going to be there. So their football is on up. So yeah, quick
Basuma is
shout
also
for
going to
Mali.
be at the Olympics.
It's possible. It's possible. I think he might be there, but
I hope so.
But the Olympics is under 23 and then 3 senior players. So
Yeah, I mean, what other players do Mali have? What other overage players do they have?
well, that's a fair point. We'll see what happens with them, anyways. But yeah, good one for them. Nigeria, how are we feeling? Boniface on the score sheet this weekend. Victor
Bro, did you see that Victor
Osimhen's
Osimhen's assist? I'm looking at Uzo. I know Uzo has something to say about the assist.
It wasn't all that impressive to me.
I knew he was going to say that. I just knew he was going to say that.
It wasn't. I mean, but can we be honest about this guy, bro? Like he clearly lacks technical ability.
Oh my God.
It's so, but even that comes from him literally trying to bring the ball under control. You realize that, right? He wasn't trying to juggle the ball. He was trying to control it.
That was a good assist, bro. I'm not even.
Right.
Bro, that was
a lot of the things that Osimhen does just seem so awkward. I think that's what it is. But he's just an awkward football. And the thing is, I don't think he's a bad striker. He's a great striker. I get that.
He's the African best player I'm talking about, man.
Hey man, respect. Listen, I don't hate bro. He plays on Super Eagles, bro. I want the guy to do well. I just think that he's getting a tad bit overrated in terms of his ability overall. I think he's a good fox in the box. He can sniff out, chances. He can take chances. I don't know. I just look at his technical ability, and I don't think it's top at all. I think he's another Lukaku. That's all I'm saying.
I get
People
what
think
you're
Lukaku
saying.
is like a bad player, but he's not.
Yeah.
He's a great striker as well.
I get what
you're saying,
as well. Yeah, I think
he has some deficiencies to his game. Like he has
He's
some.
not
You guys remember when Lukaku used to do all those Ronaldo chops and his leg over? Like you see how awkward it looks, right? It's like it's something that's supposed to be skillful, but he makes it look so. You're like, what are you doing?
My point is, this one was great. Like there's some things that even if the person doesn't do it well, he does something good. That one was good. That one didn't look awkward. That one was good.
Yeah, I'll give it to him. At some point there was a point he looked as if he was going to lose the ball. Then he was able to now drag the ball back.
Yeah, so that
was some strong.
That
play.
was good. That was good. Trust
He
me. If
tackled
I
the
think,
ball.
I
That's
think,
what he
I
did.
think,
He did lose it, and
I
he
think,
tackled
I
the
think
ball
it's his.
as an
No, it's his
assist.
reputation. It's his reputation that is because you say things
Ooh.
about reputation, about players' reputations, right? If it
Yeah.
was somebody else, if it was like let's say who is a skillful player, I don't know, I can't think of, bro. Football has fallen off so
Neymar.
much. If it was something, it was
Neymar.
not like Neymar that did that. Everybody would be like, oh yeah, bro. But
Joga
so
Or
Bonito.
Paqueta.
yeah,
Eh,
so yeah, so that was actually good.
There
I
was
get
even
it.
there was a moment even at the World Cup where Richarlison did like a head bubble and then brought the ball down and then did
yeah.
a nice quick link up and it was a goal. It it just looked awkward when Osimhen did it. That's all I'm saying. It just looked awkward. Like his knees were so high. He has this frame where he just looks so stiff, right? Like he looks like it's very difficult for him to turn and be fluid. So everything he does just feels very boxy, and I don't know. It didn't look that great to me, but hey,
Are you
listen,
great?
great assist, man. I hope he wins Puskas. Like, I guess.
Come on now.
I don't know.
Okay. All right. Okay. Okay. Just for us before we end the show, just something to end the show with. Osimhen versus Boniface.
Boniface.
I think Boniface technically is better. Like
Boniface.
Yeah.
technically is better on the ball.
Technically sound, way
Yeah.
better hold up play. He has Victor Boniface has a lot of Harry Kane in him. He's
Wow.
very good at bringing his teammates into play. I've watched the guy sparingly, and I think him playing on a team that is less, potent, less talented than Osimhen, and him being able to be, a difference maker. I just think like, yeah, he's definitely a much better footballer. I don't know if he's a better finisher. That remains to be seen, but I think he's a much better footballer for sure.
I don't.
Like
I
I
would
was
say.
telling Adams,
I would say he's a much better footballer. I would say like the signs are there. Like if I'm comparing
Mhm.
Boniface at his stage right now to where Victor was, like at the same stage, because right now I think you have to give props to Victor for what he did, and then
we're talking about the African Player of the Year here,
exactly.
man. Like
But
he's the standard for sure.
if we're comparing them at the face in their career, like the face of when Victor was probably just busting to the scene at Napoli, because now this is probably what's his name, Boniface first bust out season. This is his bust out season, right? We didn't know him. We knew him like the season before, but he wasn't really talked about, right?
He
So
wasn't in a good enough league
yeah,
at the time. Him being
exactly.
now in the Bundesliga, like I think is his chance to really show his mettle. Um, I just think on the ball he's better.
Yeah,
He's better on the ball. He's better holding it up. In the same way I was telling you, I think Kelechi is a better footballer than Osimhen. But Osimhen is a better striker. He's performing better. He has the numbers. Again, you're a big guy that says stats.
I was just
Shouldn't
going
pick
to
up
say
for
that.
eye
I was
test.
just going to say that. I said
But the
if
eye test tells me Boniface and Kelechi
if
is
the
better.
people that say the truth to themselves about football always know
Mhm.
the eye test supersedes stats. That's what I'm just gonna say.
But
Every
that's why
single time.
that's why I never told you that Salah is a better player than
Bro,
Hazard. I just said
I'm
he has
not
a better legacy.
even.
And I think when it comes to legacy, numbers matter. That's it.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Numbers
All right,
matter
guys.
for sure.
And finally, because Nigeria is blessed with a lot of strikers and attackers. So I want you guys to give me like your
Ooh.
the front three for AFCON. If you're the coach,
Ooh,
who is your front three gonna be? That's a
man.
tough one.
But I'm putting Kelechi
Let's
in there though. I'm putting Kelechi has to be there.
Not for me.
Iheanacho has
If
to
you're
be there,
playing
bro.
it, you're playing for championship side.
Nah, come
No,
on,
not
bro.
for me. I'm
Come
sorry.
on, bro.
Yes,
Kelechi,
yes. Listen,
this is
we
the
have to
AFCON.
get in.
You
We
have
have to get into the habit. What has he done in AFCON? It's not like he's some stud in AFCON.
Bro,
What has
he
he
has
done?
But
played.
Again,
yeah,
He has
I think he always
played.
turns up for Nigeria like some
He,
time. Like
does
has,
he? Does
yeah,
he? What has he really done for the senior team?
he does.
I'm
He
sorry,
has.
no, Kelechi hasn't done anything for the senior team. I'm sorry.
Bro,
okay.
what has Osimhen done for the senior team then?
Oh, you're on my side here. I don't think either of them should be in. Like what?
Oh,
was,
you
I
don't,
think
bro. That's
yes.
crazy.
I think if we're
Can we
going
end
off
the show?
merit,
Can we end the show? He
if,
says he doesn't
if
think
we're
the African Player of the Year should be in the start.
no, he will be.
Whoa.
He will be. But I'm saying if we're going on merit and form, I
Wow.
think Boniface and Awoniyi are ahead of both of them
You
in
can't
terms
go
of
on
performances
form. You
over the
can't
last
go
season.
on poor form when
Yeah,
it
no,
comes
we
to the
won't. I know
national
we
team.
won't.
You can't do that.
I know we won't.
You can't
We
do
won't.
that.
I know
You
we.
can't.
So in
It's
reality,
just like
it
saying,
will be Osimhen, it will be Chukwueze, and it will probably be
nope,
what's
I
the
don't
boy
want to see Chukwueze near
from
that
Italy?
starting lineup. I don't
You
want
know
to
it will be.
No, he
Chukwueze.
don't
You know
be
it will
there.
be.
He won't be there.
Who will it be for you? Who's your front three? Who's your front three?
My front three is I'll actually go with the front. Okay, front three. I'm going in at your Boniface and what's his name? Osimhen.
That's so imbalanced, though. It's three strikers.
It's in balance, Adams. I
Bro,
will go with
It's
Chukwueze.
insane. Nigerians, bro.
I'm playing a top two. I'm playing a top two, and I'm playing in at your deeper. Can't I do
As the
that?
cam or the supporting striker?
Can't I do that?
Iheanacho as a cam. Stinky.
But that's what he plays for Nigeria, though.
Stinky. And that's why we're where we are. I
All right,
think what's going to happen, my front three is going to be Boniface down the middle, Samuel Chukwueze on the right,
Bro,
and
this guy just
middle?
scored out my front three, and he's putting Boniface down the middle.
yes, he's a striker.
guys,
Boniface over Osimhen. That's not happening anywhere.
It's not happening. I'm saying my front three, right? If I'm the coach, I'm going Boniface,
you're never.
Chukwueze, and
We have to be realistic.
That's my front three.
We have to
That's
be
my
Adams
front
realistic here, bro.
was about to say you will never be the coach.
I won't. If they get me there, things will actually start changing because guys will be getting picked on merit.
Bro,
None of this. Oh, you are a big man. So, bro,
you're a big man.
Osimhen-
Every team has a
Osimhen-
status man. Can they
Osimhen
drop?
was the major.
Can they drop-
Osimhen was one of the major reasons why we didn't go to World Cup. That performance against Ghana was awful, stinky. The stench has not left that stadium till today. So you think
that means
you
that
think he has a
should get
right to
dropped?
just come back in?
Does that mean that he should get dropped?
Of course. In a much better team, he would be getting
That's
dropped.
not happening. Any coach in his
What you
right
did for your
senses-
club has nothing to do with us. If you're being honest, he didn't deserve.
There's no way.
I'm saying, if you're being honest, he didn't deserve African Player of the Year for what he did for his country. He deserved it because of how he performed at his club. What did he do for Nigeria? What did he do in
He was
AFCON?
the
What did he
highest
do
goal
anywhere?
scorer
But to be fair-
in the qualifiers.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
There's no.
So-
I don't think you have any argument not to put Osimhen
All
in the
right,
starting
guys.
lineup.
All right,
He
guys.
ain't getting in my team. He
Osimhen,
ain't getting in my team. I know that. for a
this
fact.
is what's going to happen. It's going to be Osimhen, and it's going to be Nacho, and it's going to be this dude, Simon Moses. That's what's going to happen.
It has to be Lukman. It has to be Lukman.
Bro, I don't want to see Lukman and Chukwueze in that starting lineup. I don't want to see them in that starting
Chukwueze
lineup.
has been good for Milan this year.
Bro,
He's
he's been
scored a
good for
banger.
Milan. What has he done? What has he done for Nigeria? What has he? That's the
Nothing.
same argument you have. What has he
Nothing.
done? He has
But it's about profiles. We don't have many wingers.
we do.
I don't want to see that
We
Simon
do.
Moses,
We
Simon Messi.
Bro,
Get him out of here,
Simon has delivered more. He's been better than Chukwueze. Chukwueze has I don't think he's been playing for Super Eagles for quite a while now, and he has never had that moment where you're like, okay, at least Simon was player of the group stages last AFCON, right?
All right.
He was the player, right? He was the player of the group
Yeah,
stages.
he was pretty good. He was pretty good.
All right, guys.
Also, we need a better coach. Just need a better
Yeah,
coach.
we
I was
need a
just
better coach.
That was what I was going to,
We
because
need a better coach.
you guys are just. I was just like, I'm just remembering our last two games, right? This World Cup qualifiers against Zimbabwe and what's that country called? That Swahili country. Sorry, what's
Lesotho.
Lesotho. My goodness, man. That was some horrible 4 hours of football.
Move that
Like,
from the pod, please.
4 hours.
He's
4
in that
hours.
Swahili country.
I don't want us to get cancelled.
I'm sorry.
Bro,
Man.
he didn't say anything though. He didn't say anything. He said Swahili. They speak Swahili there.
I
Bro.
don't know if there might be some Lesotho guys that just come for us. Yeah, I don't know.
I'm sorry. Man. I'm not being- But man, I watched those two games, and those are 4 hours of my time that I'm never going to get back, man. That was some horrible performance. I'm just like Boniface and these guys, and then they were struggling against Zimbabwe at some point. Even the Zimbabwe game, we were lucky to get away with a point. It was so horrific. All right, anyways, can only wish the team well anyway, and good luck to them. All right, guys, we've come
Good
to the end
luck
of
to
the
them,
show.
indeed. It not concern me.
Good luck to them. Yeah,
No,
What?
we'll be here rooting for them.
it concerns me because I'll
Of course,
still be rooting for
always,
them.
always.
All right, guys,
always.
we've come to the end of the
Super
show.
Eagles. Ten Hag
Thanks.
in.
Thanks for watching.
Ten Hag in.
We'll
Well,
see you in the next one. All right, Adams.
Football heritage.